Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is going to be a reading on Nancy Mace. She's a Republican congresswoman from South Carolina. She was on CNN recently, and during an interview, she was repeatedly mispronouncing Kamala Harris's first name. As this discussion went on, she got corrected on how to pronounce Kamala Harris's name properly by multiple people on the panel multiple times. And at one point, she said, author and professor Michael Dyson said former President Trump was playing reruns with his campaign statements. Mace quickly clapped back. Talk about reruns. Kamala's. And then she carried on with her sentence. At that point, she was interrupted by former White House aide Keith Boykin, who worked under the Clinton White House, to saying, "You had it right. You almost got it." And then Mace pushed back and said, "I will say Kamala's name any way I want to." And she mispronounced the name throughout this. It was pushed back on Dyson, pushed back on Mace, saying, "You're normalizing a kind of viciousness and disrespecting Harris in the process." It finally started getting down to Mace responding, "You know what? You know what's disgusting to women is her disrespect of women. She doesn't know what a woman is." Oh, now we're going to go to the childless cat ladies attack. Oh, and by the way, for Usha Vance was defending her husband's statement about unhappy childless cat ladies. And she was explaining what JD was trying to say is that people have a hard time raising families in the United States, and people should focus on the messaging he was trying to say rather than a 3-word statement, childless cat ladies. To which, I watched her video on Fox and Friends. First off, Usha Vance is an incredibly intelligent, well-spoken woman. She seems very insightful. There's a lot of opportunity to really, really like her. Except she's gaslighting. And I would put it out to her like this. If J.D. Vance wanted to talk about how difficult it was for families to raise children in the United States, then that's what he should have said. Who do you think is going to dogpile or catpile on J.D. Vance if he says, it's really right now in the United States, it's really difficult. The government makes it difficult for people to have kids and afford to have kids. And we can put policies in place. Come on. We could put policies in place to address this. Who's gonna boo him off the stage for that? Nobody. That's what we want. But that's not what he said. He said, miserable childless cat ladies who are unhappy with their miserable lives, that sort of thing. He made it personal. And he basically said people who without children are the cause of all the problems in the United States. That's the implication. She can try and spin it and make it to a nice message. And she's also said her husband's incredibly intelligent. So, Mr. Incredibly Intelligent, who's trying to run for vice president, you should need to work on your messaging. You shouldn't have to have your wife correcting you for it. You should be able to get it right the first time. And if you don't get it right the first time, you should be able to correct it yourself. So, for Usha Vance, intelligent, well-spoken, she's got a lot to admire, but she's making excuses for her husband and in the process gaslighting us. To that, I do not appreciate it, even a little bit. Get real, lady. Okay, back to this. With the Nancy Mace saying she doesn't know about Real Woman. Dyson kept correcting her on the pronunciation of the name. It's Kamala. It's Kamala. You're doing this on purpose. And then Dice said, "You're a white woman disrespecting a black woman." To which Nancy Mace like, "Are you saying I'm racist?" And Nancy Mace ends it with, "White Americans are dealing with soaring inflation, rising crime, and a border crisis. People still have no idea what Kamala Harris stands on a single policy." This is the first time mispronunciation of Harris' first name has sparked debates. Tucker Carlson does it, Dave Perdue does it, all sorts of people do this. But I would say this to Nancy Mace. It's not just white Americans dealing with soaring inflation and rising crime and the border crisis. Really? It's all Americans. And let's just take it a step further. It's everyone around the world is dealing with this. There is no country that's not dealing with inflation. Rising crime, the statistics don't support that. Actually, crime has been decreasing. Border crisis, there was legislation, bipartisan legislation that was produced in the House that Mike Johnson wouldn't take up. And then it was brought up again, and Republicans voted against it, even though it gave Republicans everything they wanted on the border that they've been asking for the last 40 years. So if there's a border crisis, it's now your problem because you haven't done anything about it and you quashed legislation that would do something about it. Inflation, y'all in the House haven't put forth anything to address inflation. Kamala Harris is the only one who's coming up with specific plans on how to tackle it. Trump just says, inflation is bad and we're going to get rid of it by drill, baby, drill. He's such a simpleton. Sorry, it's a long rant here. But I need to remove this cat. Let's see if we can do it on camera so people can see just what I have to go through here. Say hello. Meow, 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 meow. Oh, the kitten's over here too. Let's put you on the kitten's chair. And look at Nancy Mace here. I want to look at the general energy around Nancy Mace. I am really, really disturbed by white Americans. Talk about dog whistling. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Energy around Nancy Mace and her white Americans comment. I would say entertainment purposes only, but it's going to be entertainment purposes only. Well, she's an upside down idiot, except that my deck is upside down. Page of Swords. Messaging to the simplest of people. People with low IQs. People with no understanding of how the world works. I'm not saying Nancy Mace is this. I don't think she is. But I think that's who she's messaging to. White people, low intelligence, immature. They don't understand how the world works. But they want to be aggrieved and oppressed. Crossed with the Three of Wands. And it's putting that fear that, this is the overseas card, waiting for your ship to come in. Inflation hasn't been addressed yet, but put us in and we'll address inflation. Crime is high. All these people coming across the border. Everything is... Here we go. Page of Swords. Young, immature people. Cross with Three of Wands. They're saying the source of their problems and their anxiety is coming from outside of them. No, that anxiety is coming from within you. But they're trying to make it like it's an outside force causing the issue. Underneath it all is the Hermit card. Her message is that of regression. The Hermit should be going forward, finding a path forward. But if you think all your threats are coming from the outside, then you go within. So the Hermit goes back to his cave. It doesn't expand, he retreats. So this is, her messaging is all about consolidating the white vote, as it were. Making non-white people the villains in this story. In the past, you have the Two of Swords. Decisions to be made. Crossroads. I don't know what her politics were before. I don't know if this is saying that she's gone full MAGA, but she had a choice to go on a couple of different paths, and she chose the MAGA path that she's currently on. Current situation, Knight of Pentacles. She's just going forward and passing the message of MAGA as led by Donald Trump and those who would support him. She's just a messenger girl. She's no great shakes. She's really a nothing person here. Overarching energy is the Strength card. She's using the message. She projects strength or the perception of strength to the low intelligence folks who want to blame folks outside for their problems. I guess you know what this Two of Swords could be in the past is you could have voted on legislation or brought legislation to address any of this. You have chosen not to do that. You've chosen to maintain the problem for political expediency. The lesson to be learned is the King of Wands. I don't know if Nancy Mace is going to be reelected or not. The power to fix this has always been in Congress. They're choosing not to use it. This is also, bowing down to the authoritarian. Mike Johnson telling him what to do. Donald Trump telling him. Donald Trump's not even in government. He's telling him what to do and commanding them. So, the subservient woman to the strong man, the subservient citizen to the ruler. Over that. Outcome is the Page of Cups. It's just messaging in red meat for the base. She knows better. She chooses not to be better. And it's just frustrating to see that. All this performative BS in Congress, for God's sake. Not that Congress didn't have performative stuff before, but it was so minimal. They got stuff done. Maybe I'm imagining it. Maybe I wasn't paying attention enough. Maybe I have the Republican in me says, the good old days when people got stuff done. You know what? They didn't. There was BS going on in politics since humanity created politics. But it just is more polarized now than ever before. And it needs a good butt kicking. And a cleaning out. Okay. I think I know this, but maybe there's something else. Little four-carder, is there anything in particular that is causing Nancy Mace to purposely mispronounce Kamala Harris's name? Justice card, King of Cups, the World card. Got some big cards here. Cups, Star card. I think anything possible to tarnish Kamala Harris's star. Nancy, I don't know if Nancy Mace is in particular up for any investigations. But I think the Republicans really fear her getting in there because if she gets in, she is going to hold people's feet to the fire. It's going to bring an end to the party. And, you go from Biden, who was a unifier, to somebody who's like, okay, unification is over now. Now we're going to go the other way. We're now going to start holding people's feet to the fire. So think of this as being the good cop and she's the quote-unquote bad cop. And they don't want to face the bad cop. They need to tarnish the bad cop as much as possible. If no other reason, they could say, they're going after me because I mispronounced her name and now she's all petty. I don't even think it's that. I think they're just scared. They're scared of her. They're scared of what she represents. And what she will likely do. She saw what she saw what the Republicans did to Obama. She saw what the Republicans did to Joe Biden. She saw what Donald Trump and the Republicans were capable of, but didn't fully reach their full potential. She's not a dum-dum. She is not a dumb woman at all. She understands what the game is. And unlike others, she's not as concerned about people liking her. She is much more concerned about results. She's a very result-oriented person. And that's going to really flummox the GOP. They're not used to that. They're used to bullying Democrats and saying, you're just being insensitive to us. You're just being a bully. And then the Democrats are like, was I being a bully? I didn't mean to come across that way. Let me rethink my life. And meanwhile, the Republicans just continue doing the crappy behavior that they do. Kamala Harris is going to be like, that's not how that works. Again, she's going to be like the parent to the misbehaving teenager and hold their feet to the fire. And this is the teenager that's used to steamrolling their parents and having their parents kowtow to them. And that's not how it works in this household. So they're scared, and they will do anything they can to undermine Kamala Harris. And we could do our part by voting, making sure you're registered, check your registration, get out and vote blue down the ticket, give Kamala Harris the presidency, and give her the Senate and the House with comfortable enough majorities that work can get done. We can put the guardrails back up to save our democracy and start reinstituting people's rights that were stolen from them. And then start holding people's feet to the fire for justice. Thank you very much for watching this video. I do appreciate it. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.